Maybe you've seen it before. A simple bracelet, a red thread, tied to someone's left wrist. Sometimes worn down, sometimes brand new. No flashy knots, no ornaments, just a thread. But it's not just any thread, and it's definitely not there for fashion. Did you know that this bracelet holds one of the oldest, most powerful spiritual secrets in the world? It's not an accessory, it's not decoration. It's a symbol, a shield, a promise, a direct line to the invisible laws that govern this universe. And those who wear it don't do it by accident. This humble red thread, ignored by those who don't understand, carries centuries of ancestral wisdom. It was worn by mystics, it was tied by initiates, it was guarded by grandmothers, it was placed by mothers on newborns, it was whispered about by sages, and now it's arrived to you. But why the left wrist? Why red? Why something so simple, yet so profoundly powerful? What force hides behind a gesture that small? They say whoever ties a red thread to their left wrist isn't just asking for protection. They're activating something deeper. They're choosing consciously to connect with their own energy, with their own intuition, with their true path. It's a message to the universe. I am awake. I am ready. I choose to walk with purpose. But listen, not everyone should wear it, and not everyone is ready for what it truly represents, because this red thread on the left wrist doesn't just protect, it reveals, and that can be uncomfortable, because sometimes it reveals truths you've tried to ignore. It awakens old memories. It pulls you toward people you swore you forgot, even though you never really did. It triggers synchronicities. It stirs things that were sleeping, because this isn't just a thread. It's a key to your feminine energy, a key to your spiritual perception, a key to that part of you that doesn't need logic to know that there's something else, something you can't see, but you can feel. And in this video, we're diving straight into that mystery. You'll understand why so many cultures across time and space agree on this symbol, why it's worn on the left, not the right, why it must be tied a very specific way, and more importantly, what happens when you wear it. What are you invoking? What are you releasing? What are you agreeing to? Because the red thread is not just tied. It's honored, it's felt, it's lived, and it transforms you if you stay until the end. You won't just leave with knowledge. You'll leave with clarity. You're about to understand why you felt blocked in your relationships, why certain energies keep showing up in your life without you even noticing, and most importantly, how this symbol becomes more than protection. It becomes a tool, a portal, a mirror, a return to yourself. This isn't just a video. It's the beginning of something you've already started without knowing. Because the thread has always been inside you. You just forgot. See, the red thread isn't just a tool for protection. It isn't just about soulmates or mystical ties. At its core, it's an energetic portal, a material symbol that activates your spiritual field. Because everything that exists in the physical has a reflection in the invisible, and everything in the invisible echoes in the material. When you tie this thread on your left wrist, you're opening a direct channel, a gateway, straight into the receptive energy of your being. It's not random. The left wrist is never random. In mysticism, in energy work, in esoteric traditions, the left side of the body is how you receive. It's where the universe enters you. It's where you absorb. It's where you feel. It's the side of the soul. The right side, that's where you give, where you project, where you act. But the left listens, the left intuits, the left channels. That's why the thread can't be worn just anywhere. It has to be tied where your energy is most naked, most exposed, most true. Ever wondered why, when someone touches your left wrist, you flinch? Why it feels more vulnerable? Because this is where memory lives, where your sensitivity pulses, where your deepest fears hide, where your most sacred desires breathe. But here's something almost nobody tells you. The red thread is also a reminder, a conscious anchor, a physical point that brings you back. Every time you see it, every time your hand grazes over it, every time it brushes against your skin, it whispers, "Come back to yourself." Because the greatest spiritual power is remembering. Remembering who you are, remembering what you deserve, remembering you are not here by accident. And this is where intention becomes everything. Because the thread itself isn't magic. It's the intention that makes it sacred. It's the words you speak as you tie it. It's the energy you pour into that gesture. In many traditions, it should be tied by someone who truly loves you. Because love, real love, is the most powerful spiritual current that exists. When someone ties it around your left wrist, with clean hands, with pure intention, with a heart that means it, that thread becomes a seal. It's not just a thread, it's an energetic seal, a field that wraps around you, sustains you, and guides you. And listen closely now, because this is where the red thread stops being about protection and steps into something far deeper. It becomes a commitment, not to others, not to the universe, to yourself. A promise that you will never abandon yourself again, that you will stop ignoring your intuition, that you will stop betraying yourself just to please others, that you will finally start respecting your own boundaries. It's easy to tie a red thread, but the real work, the sacred work, is living what it represents. Because once you commit to your own growth, you can't return to ignorance without it hurting. Once you choose to open your eyes, you can't look away without feeling empty. Once you decide to reconnect with your soul, you can't go back to living in disconnection without breaking something inside. But there's something else, something most people have never been told, something that shifts everything. The red thread doesn't just connect people. It connects timelines. Because this isn't just about human relationships. It's about destinies, about karmas, about lessons that follow you from other lifetimes, or from this one, repeating over and over until you choose to break the pattern. So what if this thread isn't just tying you to others, but tying you to yourself, to your past self, to your present self, to the future version you are now creating? What if every time you wear it, you are weaving your own evolution, healing the wounds of your childhood, honoring the choices of your present, and guiding with clarity the life you're building for tomorrow? The red thread is a symbol of destiny, but it's also a tool to shape it. Because destiny isn't something that happens to you. It's something you build. It's something you choose. It's something you clean, transform, and redefine. When you tie that thread to your left wrist, you are declaring, I accept my story. I honor my ties. But now, I choose. I choose who. I choose how. I choose from where. I connect. No longer from the wound, no longer from fear, no longer from the empty hunger of needing, but from authenticity, from the soul, from a love that is clean, from connection without suffering. And yes, you can feel the difference because it's not the same. To love out of habit, as it is to love from full awareness, it's not the same. To be tied by karma, as it is to be tied by conscious choice. The red thread helps you see the difference. It helps you cut what no longer belongs, because not every thread deserves to stay tied. Some threads must be released with gratitude. Some need to be burned in symbolic fire, and others must be reinforced with presence, with communication, with shared spiritual energy. That's why, in certain traditions, when someone wants to close a cycle, they cut the red thread in silence, then bury it deep in the earth or release it into the ocean, not as an act of rejection, but as a ritual of liberation. Because honoring a bond also means knowing when its purpose has been fulfilled. And now, I need you to notice something. Look closely. Do you realize how many layers hide behind a simple thread? Can you feel it? This is not a bracelet. It's a mirror of your current energy, a mirror of your bonds, a mirror of your emotional and spiritual state, a mirror that doesn't judge, but also doesn't lie. So I want to invite you to do something. Look at your left wrist. Is it empty? Or is there already a thread tied there? Who tied it? With what intention? Does it still hold meaning for you? Because if it doesn't, then it's time. Time to renew your energy. Time to make space for the new. Time to cut with love and to retie with more strength what truly deserves to stay. And listen closely, because in the next minutes, we go deeper. We're going to talk about the meaning of the color red, about the Kabbalistic origin of this practice, about its relationship to the tree of life, and most importantly, how to use the red thread as a tool for energetic protection. protection from people who drain you, from environments that exhaust you, from thoughts that sabotage you. You'll also learn how to charge the thread with intention, how to cleanse it when you feel it's lost its power, and the perfect moment to replace it. Because this isn't just a video. This is a ritual, a living transmission, a frequency, a guide for reconnection. Reconnection with yourself, with your path, and with the sacred bonds you choose. From now on, stay until the end, not out of curiosity, but because your soul has been asking for this, because deep down, you already knew. The thread has been waiting, and this time, you choose how to tie it. Now, let me pause, and before we continue with this transmission, this activation, I want to introduce something. Our book, To Ser Superior, is now available. In the pinned comment, you'll find the link to get it and everything you need to know. But hear me clearly. This is not just a book. This is a journey, a deep inner voyage, a complete rewiring of your mind so you can finally shift everything around you, your energy, your relationships, your abundance, and your entire life. You will learn to feel full in ways you never have before. To Ser Superior, a deeper connection with the truth of who you are. And now, since you've made it here, I'm going to reveal something that almost no one talks about. Something you won't find in books, not in videos, not even in traditional rituals. Because what I'm about to share with you isn't theory. It's vibration. It's a key. It's a frequency. Did you know that the red thread on your left wrist can also act as a channel to elevate your vibration? It doesn't just block heavy energy. It doesn't just shield you from what drains. It amplifies. It amplifies the signals the universe is already sending you. It sharpens you. You become more sensitive to what's subtle, more attuned to the signs, to the coincidences that are not coincidences, to the messages that come disguised as intuition. It's like tuning an antenna, and the more present you are, the clearer the signal, the stronger the guidance, the more direct the synchronicity. And there's more. Listen carefully, because almost nobody talks about this. When the thread starts to fray, when it unravels, when it snaps, do not ignore it. It's not an accident. It's a message. The thread is wise. It is materialized energy. And when it begins to break, it's telling you something is closing. A chapter has completed its purpose. A part of you is ready for something else. Some call it wear and tear. But in truth, it is evolution. Every red thread has a cycle, a beginning, a middle, and an end. And if you listen, if you pay attention, you will know exactly when it's time to renew it. That moment is sacred. That's the moment where you demonstrate your ability to release, to give thanks for what was, and your readiness to make space for what's next, for new connections, more conscious, more aligned, more real. Because the more honest you are with yourself, the more authentic the threads that manifest in your life. And hear me now. Not every red thread is romantic love. Some come as mentors, others as soul friends. Some arrive as brief encounters that change you forever, and some as mirrors that show you what you still need to heal. Every thread that appears in your life changes you. Some awaken you, some teach you how to protect yourself, others teach you how to love. None of them are a mistake, not one. And maybe now you understand something else. Maybe now you see that you too have been the red thread in someone else's life. Maybe without knowing it, your energy, your presence, your existence was a before and after for another soul. And that is also a spiritual act, a form of love that doesn't seek to possess, that doesn't chain, it simply reflects. And that is the purest beauty of the red thread. It doesn't need to tie, it doesn't need to hold, it just exists because it's made of soul, not of knots, not of chains, not of fear. So, if something in you stirred, if something tightened in your throat, if a silent certainty rose inside, do not ignore it. The universe just spoke to you, and now you decide what to do with what you've heard. I invite you to leave a comment, not for me, not for the algorithm, for you. Write this, but only if it feels real, if it echoes in your soul. I choose to tie the thread consciously, because this was never about wearing a bracelet. It's about what it means, about how you hold it, about how you honor it, about how you walk from this day forward. And if something here lit a fire inside you, if it touched a sleeping part of your being, then subscribe, but not casually, not mindlessly. Subscribe as an offering, as someone who is saying, I'm ready to remember more, to awaken deeper, to connect fully. Because this channel, this space, is not a collection of videos. It's an energetic circle, a gathering of souls who have chosen to walk with their inner eyes open. And now, it's time to close this circle for today. But before you go, I want you to do something. Close your eyes. Just for a few seconds. Breathe deep and imagine a red thread rising from your left wrist like liquid light, extending into the air, connecting to your heart, to your intuition, to your purpose. And then watch it dissolve into infinity, because that thread is you. And remember this, there's no force more powerful than a soul who has chosen to never forget who they are. Thank you for being here. Thank you for feeling. Thank you for remembering. And now go and make magic. I'll see you where the invisible threads cross again.